Hello and welcome back to the tutorial, whatever the heck we're doing. I have no idea what I'm officially calling it. The how to make a 3D printable car, which you can make it just a standard car for Blender in this. However, it's going to have design cues that are more so for 3D printing rather than accuracy, which, yes, you can resin print these and get high accuracy, but let's be honest, you're going to lose that stuff in sanding it. And I highly doubt you're going to paint it, or, well, very few people, I'm sure, will resin print it and leave it as is. Which, congrats. So, we're going to get right into it with the next step. Well, first off, let's recap what we did last episode. We set up the blueprints. Got those all set up. Why is there two? Great, well, either way. And as well, we got our starting piece. We also got our sizes set up, as well as the textures. Last time I've kind of videotaped this attached to a large monitor, and that made that really difficult to see. So we're going back to the laptop screen, so it's easier to see, because these numbers were probably worthless to read. Just go through these quick. Pause as you wish to see what I have set up for these. And obviously you can test and tune to your wish. Alright, on to the next step. Alright, so we're going to start with the first step of this car, and that is, come on, I forgot, you gotta physically click on Blender. Okay, so the first step we're going to do is fix this, because it is really annoying. I want only axis views, so why does it show on both? What's the difference? Oh. That's better. Alright. So, first way to get this started is obviously to start small. And by starting small, we're going to start with the roof. Because it is the middle of the car. Pretty much allows us to pick whether or not we want to go with the back. Can you stop clicking? And the front. Depends on which direction we wish to go in order to pretty much make anything happen. So let's begin. So as we had from our start, we got our plane that's angled to align with the blueprint, and it's mirrored. And also, get out of material preview. Just go to solid, why not? Because we're going to be doing that, and yeah, X-ray. So pretty much just click your ease. Extrude the squares. Well, just the very top edge. You don't want to extrude the whole square, or we're going to have a serious problem already. Now, you don't have to be too extreme with it yet. Definitely, I would advise saving going super high end for, whoops. Something like that for when we get into the high poly, because there's something that we can do that will help get rid of the high data cluster pinch. Alright, so coming to the top view, we're going to adjust for the flatness. Because obviously, the window isn't exactly flat. Alright. So the next thing that we wish to do is going to be kind of a huge jump. Actually, the best thing we're going to do is look up a picture of this car. Because the best thing we want to do is make sure that we're actually following what the heck is actually going on with this car. So the main line we wish to look upon is this rear roof, and would you please load image? Okay, so what we're going to do is that we need two splits here. The one, we're going to drag this all the way across so it lines up with this, and then it will run along this. However, over here, gonna split it off so then it at least comes here, which maybe we ought to split off for this window first. So what we're going to do is we're going to adjust this image for the rear because it is off, which is common. So if you have that situation where a picture needs adjusted, just adjust it. 'Cause 9 times out of 10, the blueprint has some kind of defect with it. Or you just did something wrong. It's always a possibility. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're just going to extrude the entirety of what we had and bring it over. No scaling. However, we are going to rotate it because we wish to have it travel along with the lines. Now the front, it looks like it's kind of keeping it, which chances are what we need to do is come to the top, and I need to turn the monitor off, is we are just going to scale in the Y direction. And obviously it does it a little unevenly, so we're going to adjust it so it touches. And what we're going to do is we're going to rotate it upwards or towards the back clockwise. Lift it up. Because we had our back window droop, however the front window didn't droop as much. So the back is kind of rotating. So what we're going to do is we're going to do another big ask. And we're going to come over here to the start of the windshield, and we already have an issue, which we'll figure out here in a second. Rotate this, drop it, and we're going to rotate it in. I don't want it to completely hug this. That'll be for the next line. However, I do believe we need this to droop really bad. So, we're going to rotate it. Because this start here does run very nicely with that. However, we do get the droop. Yeah, we're good. Yeah, we're good enough. And then, one more time over. And then we'll adjust it from here. Actually, let's come down here first. Rotate just a hair. And pretty much what we're going to do at this point is make lines meet. So we're going to come to the side view first and make lines happy by pasting them to this black line that shows us the window area. Then what we're going to do is come back to the top. And then satisfy all those up top here. Now sometimes it just will not work, because sometimes blueprints are just bad. Luckily this one's going good so far, and this brand of blueprints normally does pretty well for me. It's just the quality of the picture is not too good, but then again, what do you expect for when you kind of just copy paste it from the internet? Alright. So as we can see here, this still needs some attention, because it is just a little too sharp. This really needs to drop. So we're not going to do our double G yet. We're just going to straight up bring it down. There we go. And then I'm gonna grab all of this and just kind of make it all happy. So we'll not go into the very bottom of the window, about there, all the way over here, and somewhere in the middle. Now obviously we got to make this happy up top. So we're keeping the geometry in line. Now, yes, it does look a little, not pixelated, but rough, that's for sure. So what we'll do, come over here, grab that, stretch it over. However, that's going to heavily affect this. So in that case, I'm going to stretch that over, bend that back a hair, and we'll do the same with this one right here. Alright. Now remember, it's going to be lower poly to start. Until we get to our high poly stage, we are going to try to keep this rather low poly. So that's pretty good for now. Once we get to the hood and trunk, there'll probably be more data points that are added. So we'll come down some more. Scale it out. And this is where the roof will then start splitting off into the rear panel. Now I do have a slight issue where my scaling isn't what I want, so we're going to scale in the X direction. So then this can bow out a little more. And we'll fix that up a little. Alright, so now we need to figure out which direction we wish to go, because this is the line that we just made. We are hard on that. Now, I do have a line that comes across right along backside the window, and I did not want that. I want this. So, and honestly, we're not quite there yet with that. So, let's come back. Yeah, because I see where that hard line starts. So if I come back here, yep, it does go underneath the window quite a bit. Honestly, maybe a rotation rather than a scaling. Something like that. Obviously, inspect to make sure nothing's going haywire, because even though it's low poly, things still need to kind of work. And what we'll do is we'll finish up that back line. Spoilers in the way. Wonderful. Do ourselves a big ask, come all the way out here, then we can line up with top of the trunk. And then what we'll do is we will bring in some loop cuts, drag them upwards, drag them back, and then pretty much what this does is kind of just keeps the flow, like from here to here, it was just a straight line. So it went up. However, when we place our loop cuts and then drag them backwards, it kind of drags out the hump. And that's naturally how cars are for water drainage reasons. Alright, and then I think to finish off this part, which this is kind of blocky. So we're gonna, whoa. And this is why I always enjoy going sideways rather than forward, because it's very easy to ruin going forward. Okay, now luckily this being a muscle car, this is kind of just a straight line. Not completely flat. Remember, we still have our curvature rules. Curvature rules? Yeah, I just made that up. However, it is definitely a rule by car that there's never an actual flat point. There always has to be some form of curve. Alright. That's a roof. On to the next part. Alright, the last step that we're going to be doing for this part of the video is we're going to be doing the trunk. So pretty much just going to be coming up over here, not just dragging it all the way. I mean, obviously we still got some lines, as well as trying to... Gotta click on Blenderly. As well as starting to actually get some of the curvature ready so then we can stretch it across the fenders and doors. So, allow us to begin. We'll take this, flatten it a little. Come straight. And then, yes, this does come downward a bit. Now, something that we need to plan on, because we're going to be having curvature here. I don't think I wanted to, but you know what? I will take 2. So bring that in, because we're going to have a curve here now. Yes, I'm already breaking the high poly rule. However, what we're going to do is bring this over. And then upon this, whoa, only this. And then pretty much that will open up, this will be our data path for the lines coming from the middle of the trunk. And now we already have our lines going down the trunk, so perfection. Okay. So I know I said about the rule of flats, and it certainly isn't flat. However, it is not this shape. That's for sure. So, use the Y. And we're just going to slightly adjust these. We don't want flat. So what we're going to do, and then this is near flat. And then we have that. Yep, so that goes with that perfectly. Now something we're going to do, because I highly doubt it's just a single line here. And also the curvature is kind of inwards. So what we're going to do, take our 2s, drag it downward a little, and move it towards the front only a hair. So that way we don't really lose. We don't have this completely flatness. There's the flatness that we had previously. However, it's no spoon. So, we got that. Now, what do we do about this here? Because this is a little much. So what we're going to do, to combat this, come over flat, bring it down a little. If anything, we're going to select this and bring it down too. And then we'll connect there. And then all this can come as well. Now it's not going to be flat, but I'm making it flat for this millisecond. So safe to assume this is my spot. And then we need to pretty much, on a nice curvature, make that all fit. Alright, so it's not flat, but we do have a decent curve, and I do think we even need to boast it out a little more still. Alright, that's good. And now that this is no longer needed, we can... What we're going to do is we click G twice. Did it not register that as G twice? It doesn't register G twice. However, pretty much what that does is it moves this along the lines that it is preset on, and this pretty much just allows it to move and get rid of nasty gunk. Like here, we can clearly tell that this is some data points clumped together. However, if I were to use G on that, it would move apart so it would look less noticeable. So that's good. We'll bring this down just a little more. So by bringing this down, thank you, that family is actually cleaning up their trash that they threw about earlier. I do wish to fix this a little though. Drag this down. There we go, that conforms to that a little nicer. And then we're going to level this off and have it go with the side scoop there. Yep. And because it's level with the scoop, that means that we probably ought to have it actually come out to it. Same goes for this. Not two, let's just do one. Do our drag method. Come up in the middle. There we go. Now we got some nice curvature coming along here. Very nice. Alright, that'll be the end of this video here. If you liked it, please hit the like button and subscribe if you are new. I'm going to try and make these tutorials come out very close to each other after this is already completed on my end because thumbnail reasons. But also to make sure that you know you're actually going to get a decent quality model out of this before you even start. So, I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.